Hello, my name is Asiya Sadiq. I'm a Pakistani origin architect, urbanist, academic, currently living and working in Belgium. I teach, as part of my PhD framework, a course on Karachi as a studio in the Faculty of Architecture at KU Leuven University. When I started teaching this course, I realized that there was a knowledge gap at the faculty or the studios being taught vis-a-vis the issues of architecture and urban design which were faced in the global south by the profession and the professionals. So to share my personal and professional knowledge, which I brought in from Karachi, I wanted to share it with my students. So with my colleague Martin Damazina, we decided to launch a series of studios called Hyper Transformation Cities, rather Hyper Transforming Cities, and their design issues. And Karachi was the first studio which was initiated, and by now has finished 8 cycles. So after having gone through these 8 studio cycles, we decided to kind of make an expose of the works which had been produced, the really good ideas which the students had come up. So at the moment we are busy finalizing an exposition on the works produced in the studio, and it will be in the form of 3 components. One is a video of which I'm a part and I'm talking to you, which will run like a loop. It will have some of the student works, it will have student testimonials, a discussion on Karachi, and what students have learned from it. It will also have an on-site exposition of posters of students' work. And the third part is a book. Karachi is a prototypical megapolis of South Asia or Asia in general. So it faces all the transformational challenges that cities in South Asia do. And a lot of these challenges are to do with overpopulation, a rising number of youth, changing gender and community relations, a conflict that needs reconciliation between tradition and modernity. So I'd been researching and working on these issues through my work in Karachi for a long time. So I brought in a lot of these design discussions and issues to fore in the studio. And the students with me and other colleagues and tutors have been exploring these different thematics. So we have been looking at the rejuvenation of a lot of traditionally used space types which have gone out of the design process with changing times, changing lifestyles and trends. And so we've identified design issues and possibilities of confronting and responding to those design issues, but from a very contextual and vernacular point of view.
Hey guys, I'm Fadi. I'm an architect and an urban designer, and I'm doing my practice here in Brussels. I took part in Karachi studio for the academic year 2015-16, and I still remember my initial reaction was, what? Are we going to do the studio on a city of more than 20 million inhabitants? A whole country in a city, and we are going to tackle social and spatial issues that are related to globalization, inequality, lack of space? Man, that was overwhelming. However, as the studio progressed, we became more at ease thanks to the presentation of Asiya and her on-site experience, and also the data that are available online, documentaries, films, and articles. It became apparent to us that the lack of space and mobility are really pressing issues.
Hello, my name is Lisa. I'm originally from Germany, where I did my bachelor's in architecture in Berlin. Currently, I'm working on my master dissertation at the KU Leuven here in Brussels. In 2019-20, I was part of the Karachi studio, which was my first time working in a context outside of Europe and doing a remote design without being able to visit the site or having been in the country. Our project focused on female empowerment through microeconomics, community involvement, and spatial solutions. It was I was really impressed by the resilience of the people living in informal settlements and the general dynamic of the city, which is constantly growing and changing.
We have tried to look at streets as more than mobility. Streets, traditionally in the South Asian context, have been the first interface with public that the domestic space has, and they have always behaved as, or rather, operated as collective spaces in any city, in any South Asian or Asian city. So, similarly, we have also looked at bringing in, the question of density, whether to build up or to build out, what are the good density standards with high populations yet remaining environmentally friendly. We've looked at the rejuvenation of space types such as rooftops, courtyards, vent catchers, staircases as community spaces, as living spaces, and not just like functional elements in a building. So based on all of this, Karachi as a city of about 22 million people, which spans the formal and the informal sectors in the city, we hope that the 12 thematics, in all, a few of which I just mentioned to you, will be able to bring in some new knowledge and some new ideas for the practitioners who are busy in the city or similar cities currently or in the future.
Hello, I'm Mara Uzai. I'm a former student from the International Master of Urban Project Urban Cultures in the Architecture Faculty of KU Leuven, Brussels. I've been doing my design studio with the Karachi as a main subject and hyperdensity in urban environment in 2016-17, and I keep a really good memory of this. It was quite of an interesting subject that I kind of then researched my own way when we look at the smaller scale situations like villages or rural environments. So this was for me quite interesting.
My name is Marina Yarina, and I was part of the Karachi studio in winter of 2019. It was a very interesting experience for me because coming from Central Europe, it's one of the projects I'm quite proud of and I still draw inspiration from in my current projects and in different conversations about art and architecture and culture. The main points I'm inspired by still is the discussion about formal and informal space and informal building and architecture, the role of women in the community and the role of community in developing architecture, the role of time and the time span of a certain project that is developed bottom up in a city, and also the context of climate adaptability and passive climate solutions in a city that has not such an access to high technological solutions. And these topics are something that I'm quite passionate.
Hello, my name is Cecilia Capini. I'm an architect and an urban designer, graduated from Argentina and Switzerland. And I had the pleasure to work with Asiya for many, many years. And what I have always found very, very interesting is these skills of Asiya of bringing topics and bridging the distances for the students from, let's say, Belgium to this remote cases, and bringing on the table many discussions that are highly valuable for them and also for us, for the value of the outputs, the products that the students manage to reach, and how Asia is able to help them and assist them in very interesting explorations. So I'm very happy I had been witnessing it and contributing it somehow.
Now, talking a little bit about, like kind of summarily, the summary of what one has learned from this experience. I would say the primary thing that I have personally learned, and others may have experienced as well, is that taking a distance from a case that one is very, very involved with for, like in my case, almost 2 decades of my professional life. Sometimes taking a distance and looking at it from the new eyes of your students, or new perspectives, can help one come up with very new ideas and a kind of innovative way of looking towards the same problems that one has been researching and dealing with for a long time. Similarly, the other thing which we have understood is that the documentation of such processes is very, very important to bridge this gap, of this kind of knowledge gap between the practitioners or theoreticians of the North and the South. Because a lot of the conditions that we have in the southern region or countries, and what practitioners deal with as design issues or emerging trends, one finds them in the North as well. So these boundaries between North and South, formal, informal, are blurring. So all professionals need to be engaged with design ideas and design processes at a global level. And most importantly, I think this whole process has created a knowledge base and an archive at the Faculty of Architecture at KU Leuven, which future researchers and future Karachi studios can build on, and take it to the next level, and hopefully keep coming up with innovation and innovative ideas and new things to engage with. So in the end, last but not the least, a very big thank you to all the participants, my resource persons from Belgium and from Karachi, all my students of the last 8 Karachi studio cycles who have been wonderful. Their enthusiasm towards the studio, the design briefs, and their responses to it have been amazing. And all my colleagues who supported the process. And I really hope that the book, which we are making as part of this process of this expo, will really be useful to us all. Thank you so much.
Hello, I'm Maheshni and I'm from Sri Lanka. I completed my bachelor's in Manchester in UK and I'm currently pursuing my master's at KU Leuven in Brussels. In 2019-20, I had the opportunity to be part of the Karachi studio with Asiya Sadiq and now as an editor for the Karachi exposition. It has been a very exciting experience for me working on the publications and being able to see the amount of quality work that has been produced over the years. The research that has been produced will be used as an archive that can be developed further in addressing the challenges of hyper-transforming cities. Working on Karachi continues to inspire the projects I've been working on, and it has been a tremendous opportunity to be part of the consolidation of the Karachi studios. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you to everyone for being here and for your undivided interest in Karachi. I hope you enjoyed.